Hey everybody, welcome back to the chaotic little book corner. My name's Acacia. Today I am going to be talking with you guys about the Bronte sisters and my relationship with them and the relationship of other women with them, and I'm going to dive in with the first recommendation and kind of talk to you about this. So, I recently read A Girl Walks Into a Book, What the Brontes Taught Me About Life, Love, and Women's Work. I really enjoyed this book, and I'm not going to go into great detail about it because honestly, I felt very similar in a lot of ways to this book, and there was some elements of it that I agreed with and some that I disagreed with. But overall, I feel like the Bronte sisters have had a huge impact on my life. And I think that for me and a lot of other women, the Bronte sisters, you kind of love one or all, if that makes sense. But most everyone can find a Bronte that they enjoy. I really am happy that I've now read 2 out of the 3 Bronte sisters. I have tried to read the 3rd Bronte sister, but Emily and I are fighting and it's not working out. So, I will be honest with you. If you can recommend me anything else that Emily Bronte has written that is not Wuthering Heights, I will be happy to read it. But Wuthering Heights and me are not on good terms. We are fighting. We're fighting. This book and I are fighting. So Wuthering Heights for me is a really interesting book. I got 150 pages in and I really gave it my good old college try, as they say. And I was feeling really frustrated by the characters. I was feeling as if conversations were not happening that needed to happen. I was feeling as if there was a lot of drama happening that was unnecessary. I felt there was a lot of things that were going on in this story and this plot that really were driving me crazy. I was so frustrated by Heathcliff and by Catherine, and I just felt so upset about the whole book that I had to put it down. I honestly believe that I will read this eventually and I will keep it on my shelf because I will be damned if I don't read this book. This is gonna happen eventually, but I'm gonna have to just sit down and gut through it because I don't know whether or not I'm gonna be able to enjoy it, but it's gonna happen. It's gonna happen. Charlotte Bronte is my favorite of all the Brontes. I love her. I adore her. I really want to read a book about Charlotte Bronte's life. I tried reading Elizabeth Gaskell's The Life of Charlotte Bronte with Amanda Center, and we both felt it was really dry and boring and not really at all focused on Charlotte. I would love to read a good nonfiction about Charlotte Bronte. If anyone has recommendations, leave them below. For me, I really love Charlotte Bronte and all that she has her characters stand for. They're really brilliant, they're really well executed, and they're really well thought out. I think that she is really harsh on Bertha, but there's still some love there. I think that she really understands that Rochester is not the best man in the world, and so therefore she does treat him as if he deserves some worse fate in certain aspects of his life than perfection. I think that she is really fair to her characters and gives them a lot of respect. I really enjoy her, and I highly recommend all of her books. I really liked Shirley, I really liked Villette, and I'm hoping that I can find something else of hers, anything, to read more of, because I am desperate to read more Charlotte Bronte. I'm looking for an edition of The Professor that's pretty, but I haven't found one yet. If anyone knows of one, let me know, because that will definitely happen. And then there's Anne Bronte. Now, Anne Bronte writes really honestly. There is such a bluntness to Anne, and she has so much more of a level-headed idea of romance and what it really means and what it meant in the time period that she lived in. There is no romanticizing. There is no idealist kind of feelings towards it. And love is not some sort of complex, overwrought emotion that just rides her characters out into the sunset. It really holds them steady and straight to the ground, and it doesn't really give them, it doesn't pull any punches. It just whacks them down and then they're done. But they keep going. They keep getting up. I really am impressed by Anne Bronte and her writing and her characters. I think there's a lot of depth to them, and I feel like there's a lot of love to them. I feel like her characters hold so much more interest in the everyday and the mundane than a lot of the other characters in Charlotte's novels, who seem to be more about the next day and what's coming, versus Anne's characters, who I think are much more solidified in the present. I really enjoyed these, and I highly recommend them. All of Anne's and Charlotte's books. Now, the one thing that I will tell you that I really, really loved and that got me onto the Bronte bandwagon all the way is the Glasstown Games by Catherine and Valenti. I highly recommend that book. It is a middle grade, and it really does read like a middle grade, but it's beautiful and it's absolutely fantastic to read. I think that for me, it's a really important sort of conversation about the Brontes and how much individuality each of the Brontes had and how much imagination was within the Bronte home, and I really, really loved it, and I highly recommend it. So yes, those are my thoughts on the Bronte sisters. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you liked it, give it a thumbs up. If you loved it, click that subscribe button. If you have any comments, leave them down below in the comment section, and I will see you guys in my next video. Bye!